Welcome back to the Positive Deposit Podcast, and I'm your host, Presley Nelson Jr., two-time cancer survivor. And this is the show where we are transforming minds to change lives. And I'm so excited about the host that I have today. Is none other than the legendary DJ Lonnie B, aka Lonnie Battle. Yes, he is here. This man is amazing, man. Exclusive member of the Heavy Hitters. Primetime DJ at iPower 92.1. He has actually some dope mixes on Apple Music, sold out venues. He's already hosted inaugural events, and he also is one of the co-founders of 804 Flavor label. And so I bring to you guys none other than DJ Lonnie B. What's going on, man?
What's up, bro? It's an honor to be here with you, man. I appreciate, the consideration to even be here, man,
Yeah, no, man. It's I was definitely looking for just black men that have gone through cancer, and I Googled you first. I stumbled upon your profile, and we had a mutual friend, because when I saw Richmond, as they say, DJ Lonnie B is Richmond. I had to call my brother, who is Leroyce, DJ.
Yeah. My brother.
Do you know DJ Lonnie B? He said, "Are you serious? That man is a legend." And I was like, if you know him, then it's good. He is definitely good people's. And so, you're a conqueror, man. You are a conqueror of testicular cancer. So we're just going to jump right into it. And I want to ask you, man, how did you find out? What era was this? What year was it? What was going on when you finally found out about your diagnosis?
It was 2013. It was May 2013. It was crazy. I was actually feeling a pain in one of my testicles. And, as men, sometimes if things aren't unbearable, we really don't, we just deal with it and think, it's going to go away. So that's kind of what I was doing for a minute. But, I did share it with my wife.
Okay.
I went to the doctor. She encouraged me to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, my primary physician. And when I went to my primary physician, he gave me some medicine, told me, he told me whatever he thought it was.
Okay.
I took the medicine and I still was dealing with the pain. So my wife was like, I need to go get a second opinion. In my head, of course you already have the fear of something being, bad. So once the doctor told me that it was good, I just wanted to stick with the good news and just, wait it out and see
keep
what
it moving.
Was. Yeah, she wasn't really having that. She was like, you've taken the medication, you're still, dealing with the pain, She actually, inspected it and was like, something's not right, so go get a second opinion. So I'm like, okay, I set up this second opinion, went there, and I had to go to a urologist. When I went to a urologist, they did an ultrasound on it. The doctor said, this was a Wednesday, the doctor said, we're going to call you and give you the results by Friday. So now I'm laying down in my bed thinking to myself, like, how am I going to wait 48 hours to get the results on whether or not I got cancer or that there's something wrong?
Right.
Doze off, wake up to my phone ring, and I look, it's the doctor. He says, I hate to call and tell you this, but after looking at your results, I see all the characteristics of it being cancer. We need you to come back in right now. We're going to do blood work and we're going to operate tomorrow. So at this point, you went from telling me that you're going to give me the results on Friday to come back right now, you're going to operate tomorrow. At this point, it made me feel like he's trying to save my life at this point. Like, is that what he's trying to do whatever he can to save my life? So, the only way, I guess the way that he felt to treat it was to take one of them all the way out, the one that he was infected all the way out. And I'm thinking, you can't, just do a biopsy or take that part out or whatever.
Right.
He was like, no. So again, there's no time to think about, I want to get a third opinion. It's like, I just got to go. So I went and got the blood work, had the operation. Right before I had the operation, I asked the doctor, what are my chances of being good? He said, I won't know until we get it out and test it. And that's going to take 8 days.
Wow.
So, operation, he said, when everything was smooth, they got it out. That 8 days was the longest 8 days of my life. Everything that I looked at on TV was cancer related, life insurance related. Every time I went to the store, it was, do you want to donate extra money to, cancer, everything, you know what I'm saying? So, you have a whole different look, a whole different view when you're in that situation.
Right.
Other thing is my mom's birthday was coming up, and I didn't want to tell my mom, this was a horrible thing to tell her right around her birthday. So I was like, at least I want to know where I am so I can give her the news of what it was. 8 days go by. Well, I can't forget. I went to church that Sunday, and the message was about people counting you out and overcoming the odds. It really felt like it was, talking to me. Come Friday, I go to the doctor. The doctor got the results back. He said it was stage 1. I forgot the term that it was, but whatever the term was, it hadn't spread. So because it was stage 1 and it hadn't spread, I didn't have to go through chemotherapy or radiation. Because of early detection, pretty much that operation, that was the best case scenario. You know what I'm saying? So,
so I'm gonna take it back because you said a lot of some things that stood out to me, and so your support, your wife said, get the second opinion. What made her actually just like really say second opinion, even though like you got the medicine? What was going on through her head? Or she's big on second opinion, not just taking the first,
I think she might have been reading my energy, because as much as my mouth was saying, I want to go with the first thing, because I was still asking questions and because I was still complaining about it, maybe she was taking that as a, you're saying one thing, but you probably need to do something else.
Right. And how important is to ask questions to the doctors, man? Because, a lot of times we as men and just in general, we don't ask questions when we kind of just take the information and we just like kind of run with it. How important is it to ask questions, especially when it's dealing with, our sensitive parts and just, just our health?
Now, it's very important to ask questions, man. One thing about me, man, I might be one of those people that ask too many questions. Even before that, I want to know, what I'm saying? I'm that guy that I'm on Google all the time. So again, looking for answers on Google is a no-no. But, what I'm saying, when you're right there in front of the doctor, it's always a good idea to ask ask as many questions to get as much information as you can. Yeah.
So you the type to self-diagnose yourself, huh?
All the time. All the time, man.
At least,
I take it back. So listen, I'll do the self-diagnostics and look online and do all that other stuff. But the final word is from the doctor. I never take that as, I think I usually look at that to get myself prepared for a lot of things, which, and I must say, most times you find the worst case scenarios online, and I've been blessed enough that none of my stuff has ever been that extreme. So.
No, definitely. What's one word that would describe like the reaction that you hear cancer, right? And I mean, you about to, lose.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what's the first reaction you had, or one word that would describe like how you felt?
Wow, one word that's describe how I felt, man. It's hard, man. I think for me, it's kind of hard to put in one word. I think if I had to describe it as anything, it's almost like, imagine being that champion. Imagine being that Floyd Mayweather type person in your mind and actually get knocked down for the first time and not knowing if, you're going to get up for the 8 count. And, if you get up for the 8 count, how much more fight you got in you. Jeez. So I think that's probably the best, the best description of it, because I didn't know which way it was going to go. And imagine, all our life we hear cancer, our parents, friends die from cancer, or celebrities we know die from cancer. We hear it so much, but never in a million years, as many times as we hear it, we never think it's going to be us.
Yes.
And it was funny, around the time that I was dealing with it, John Legend had a song out called "Who Do We Think We Are?" And even though he wasn't talking
that's a mean song right there.
Yeah. So what I heard, though, because another thought that was in my mind during that time was, you start to think, why me? Why me? You know what I'm saying? But that song, even though it probably wasn't about that, it made me think, like, who do we think we are? Who do I think that I am? There's so many kids fighting cancer. There's so many people in the world fighting cancer. What makes me think that I'm exempt or bigger than any of them, that I can't get it, or I you know what I'm saying, shouldn't have it? So that song was deep for me around that time.
Man, that's powerful, man. you know, I resonate with what you're talking about, because when I got diagnosed, you know, I was on the top of the world just with my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a good, nice career, you know, throwing a couple parties here and there, you know, really just having a great job. But I was about to turn 30. It's like I'm 29, I'm about to turn 30. Like that's 30 is a big year, to, you know, really a
Yeah.
good milestone. And then you're like, wow, cancer, really? Like, and that why me is always like always flowing through a lot of you know, survivors' minds. And so your support, man, through those 8 days, what was that look, what did it look like, man? What did it look like as far as that support, obviously from your wife, and you have kids, so how was that support system when you were you know, waiting in that period?
No one knew. And during that 8 days, my mother knew, my brother knew, and my best friend knew. Nobody else knew. You know, and it's crazy. My brother is 6 years younger than me, and I'll never forget. My wife was strong. Like she was very strong. She was positive throughout the whole thing. You know, I tell people all the time is during that time, not knowing which way it could have went, man, having her by my side, they could have rolled the credits on my life at that point. And the way that she made me feel during that time, it would have been the perfect ending for me had it come to that, because that is how powerful her energy was with me. You know, I just had definitely had to say that. But one day she broke down and just told me that it was hard to, you know, dealing. So that was hard on me. Then one day I remember calling my brother breaking down, and he told me, you know, he understand, you know, the emotion and everything that I'm going through. He said, but we are battles, and don't forget that. And this is what we do, and we're gonna be all right. So that speech kind of put me back in the mind frame of, you know, whatever we got to do to deal with it, to fight to get through it. That's what we're going to do. So they were the only three that knew, and I didn't tell. I did tell my mom the day after her birthday party, and you know that was, you know, the best present that I could probably tell her, to let her know that, Mom, I was diagnosed with cancer, but I've had the operation and everything is all right. You know.
Wow. Why?
And,
What was the fear of, you know, only keeping it in a small circle? You know.
Until I knew what was what, man, I really didn't want people to, you know, start to feel sorry, you know what I'm saying, for me. One thing. Here's another thing that I found out, and I probably didn't want to happen as well. During that time, I found out that more people talked about it once they found out than talked to me about it. So it was more conversations as gossip than to check on me, to call and see, are you all right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, probably part of that. You know, one thing about having cancer, it really opens your eyes to a whole lot. And, you know,
what are some things that it opens your eyes to?
One of the biggest things is there's nothing more valuable than time, because at that point I didn't know how much time that I had left, and you really analyze what you spent your time on and what you have the opportunity to spend the rest of your time on. So regardless of which direction it was going to go, I promised myself that I'm really only going to do the things that make me happy. If it doesn't make me happy, you know, I'm not really going to engage in it. And not knowing that, doing that, it led me to the most successful days of my life on the other side of cancer. Because unlike you, around that time, I was good, but I had higher days, you know what I'm saying, as far as the business side of things. Things was kind of leveling out a little bit. But after I got in the frame of mind that I want to do the things that make me happy, it just shot, you know, through the roof, man.
And so after the, you know, surgery and things of that nature, did Art of Noise, is that when you first created Art of Noise?
So Art of Noise,
I've heard about this party. When 5'9" was telling me, I said, I need to get there. I need to, and because I saw the pictures and I said, yo, this is crazy. So was that like did cancer kind of like catapult that idea?
So the Art of Noise, the first Art of Noise was November 2012.
Okay.
The second Art of Noise was March 2013. Cancer came May 2013.
Okay,
So at that point, the Art of Noise was only, you know, it hadn't seen more than 100 people at this point.
Okay.
But the feeling that it gave me was one of the best feelings that I had felt in a long time. And, you know, during that time, when you think about the club scene, everybody was going there to be in the VIP sections, to
Of
pop
course.
bottles, you know, but not many people, or not as many people, would leave a party and say, I had the best time of my life. I had a great time. You know what I'm saying? So it's more about the energy and experience than it was about the flashy stuff. So, you know, because that made me feel good, I said I wanted to go more in that direction.
Yeah.
And because I did, it just continued to grow and grow. And, you know, right here before COVID, man, we were selling out this venue called The National that holds like 1,500 people. We sold it out at least 9 times. And again, this is
Wow.
all grassroots, no radio commercials, no physical flyers. Everything was social media, Instagram, Facebook. And
That's
it was insane.
man. So if I could imagine, if I close my eyes and imagine being at the Art of Noise, what would I experience? What kind of
If you love,
music? Where are
yeah,
you going with it?
if you love music, man, like imagine, I feel like right now being a person in radio, man, radio has programmed us. You know what I'm saying? Or it's very programming. You know, they play the same songs over and over. And there's so much music, new and old, that we love and appreciate. So imagine being that person that listens to radio all the time and say, I just want more. And not knowing if you're the only person that feels that way. And then one day you go to an event and everybody feels exactly the same way that you feel. They just love good music. And it's not just one type of music. It's not just, you know, dirty South hip hop, or it's not just R&B, but it might be pop. It might be 2000s music. It might be 70, but you're just a fan of music and the energy, you know? So even if it's a song that you don't know, you're not sitting there thinking to yourself, you know, when is he going to turn up, or when is he going to do something else?
Right.
Because you're looking around and there's 1,400 other people singing to the top of their lungs a Stevie Wonder record. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
and then
you taking it to, I wouldn't even say DJ nice, you know what I mean? But you're taking a journey. You are bringing people through a journey of different genres of music, I'm assuming.
yeah, I love you talking about D Nice. What D Nice does?
Yeah, D Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, D Nice. I think what D Nice does is dope. Yeah, it's definitely a musical journey. You know, I'm trying to think of some of the other things. The other thing that makes it unique, though, is it was never about the money. Like I told you, it was 100 people there. And as it progressed, more money started to come in. And what I was thinking to myself is, what could I do with this money to give back to the experience? So what I started doing was I would pay an artist to come to the Art of Noise, not telling anybody that they're there. And as I'm up there DJing, I'm playing the song, and then the artist just walks out. So the first artist that we ever brought to the Art of Noise was DJ Cool. And he came down, tore the building down. You know, we also brought Redman, MC Light, Mystical, the Yin Yang Twins. To date, we've probably brought like 23 to 25 artists to Richmond.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. So will there be, after this COVID, will be Art of Noise? Will it come back?
I hope so. You know, the beauty of it is, I don't know if and when we'll get back to being able to put 1,500 people in a space again. You know, so even if I had to go back to doing it with 50 to 100 people, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with doing that. I haven't done it virtually. A lot of people they've asked me
You just
about.
read my mind. I was about to say, what about virtually? You know, crash Zoom.
Yeah, you know, the crazy thing is, like, one of the first things I said, if you close your eyes and you're in a room full of people, I think one of the major components to the Art of Noise, and what makes the Art of Noise is the energy in that room. You know, I can't duplicate that energy virtually, and I would hate to give someone a great value or watered down version of the Art of Noise, and you feel like, oh, that's all it is. It's just him playing old school music or him doing this or that. It's not that. So I've kind of stayed away from the virtual thing, you know, for now, until I can, you know, figure out a way to do it right.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, man, this will be a perfect time. Perfect, because we don't know when, you know, things are going to change. So what my next question for you is that I know that you've done interviews before, you know, and one thing that stood out to me, you quoted, like, it hit me like bricks, you know, when you found out. And I just, when I read that quote, it just it resonated with me because I just feel like cancer, especially when it's like not expected,
Yeah.
like it's not a smack in the face. It is like a bag of bricks, and you just have to be able to endure that pain. It's just kind of like like the Hulk. You see what I'm saying? He flies from the down and it
Yeah.
boom. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he comes out bigger and stronger. And so, what were some of the things that made you stronger? You know, as after the surgery, because I'm sure like you felt different after you've gone through this procedure. You know, but what was it that made you stronger and stronger? Especially because you had the noise and you had everything else that you had to do in your career or to uphold to kind of keep pushing and get past it.
You said, so what were things that made me stronger? That made
Yeah,
me go.
what was your motivation? What made you stronger after this experience? Because some people
Um,
don't bounce back, you know.
one of the things that that made me feel strong was the platform. The fact that I have a platform. Once I got past the why me, I thought to myself, I have a powerful voice. So when I was able to share my story with my community, and everybody that have listened to me on the radio, to sit down and have conversations with other survivors, to have other conversations with people that have concerns or questions.
Yeah,
Putting me in that space made me feel like, I had a purpose, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Regardless of which direction it went, like, as much as I have my DJ family, I have my rap hip hop family and all these
yeah,
other things, that's a whole nother family, a whole other world that,
right.
introduced me to. So that was definitely a major part of my strength, man. Just being able to talk to other people, be an inspiration to them, share certain things when they tell me things that they're feeling, to share with them that I felt the same way, or to share other stories from other survivors, what I'm saying, that have gone through some of the same things, to give them inspiration and
Yeah,
let them know, once you make it through this, you'll be in this position to do the same thing and share your story with other people.
exactly.
So
Exactly. And see that's where we're here now, you know. So I mean, did the surgery, did they just take the testicle out?
check it out, man. Took the
So
whole. Like,
how does that,
huh?
how did, so you got one testicle.
Yeah,
What did you do to your manhood, man? Like, what
I
is
ain't gonna front. Like, yo, I ain't gonna front. Between me and you, man, I have to check myself, man. Like, it's almost an inside joke when I say something about my balls. It's like, yo, you cheat because you only got one, so you got to take the S off of it. But my biggest fear was, and I will say this, when they were talking about the surgery, the fear of, what if it doesn't work? What happens
Mm,
if it doesn't work anymore? Because there is all different types of things that could go wrong with that. But when you think about cancer and the effects of cancer, I got to the frame of mind that if need be, they could take all of it. If it's going
yeah.
to keep me here to be here with my wife, my kids, my family, you know, I've used it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good. But everything bounced right back, and yeah, I was good.
Now, am I mistaken? You had a child afterwards?
Yeah, so that's another
I mean, that's a blessing, man. So
yeah,
let's talk about that, because like, how did that make you feel? Like, yo, one ball, that's all I need. And
yo,
you
the
got
crazy,
your son.
yeah,
You
that's the craziest part. Like when I was during that 8-day period, I'll never forget laying down in my bed, looking at the ceiling, thinking to myself, I wish I had a son.
mm,
Because if I had a son, I knew that my son would be here to hold his mom and his sisters down the way that I'm here to do for my mother, and
yeah,
that's all I need, a little man to, you know, just hold a household down.
right.
And so to go through the surgery and then, unexpectedly, have a son, um, you couldn't ask for more. It's almost like a Disney story almost, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Right. I'm
you
sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a miracle, man, and that's a blessing and testament to, you fighting the battle, no pun intended.
yeah.
And I love that, because for myself, I've gone through 18 doses of chemo, six that are
Wow.
more aggressive than the other. Never had to do radiation, and I never froze my sperm. Now, mind you, before I started back in 2012, they were like, you need to freeze your sperm.
Mhm.
I started looking at it, and maybe I was looking in the wrong direction, but the storage fee monthly was like, that I saw was like $400 a month. I said, I'm not doing that. I don't have 48. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. And then when I went through the second time, and I had stage 4 lymphoma, and I had to do 12 rounds. Now, mind you, the 6 were already R-CHOP, which is very aggressive, but I had large B-cell lymphoma. So I had both sides of lymphoma.
Mhm.
And the chances, of the chemo to reproduce sperm is slim to none. So when I told my oncologist, my wife is pregnant, he's like, how is that possible, man? And so
Beautiful.
this year, I had a baby girl, man, Nova, and which means the gift of God. But I loved hearing your victory and your blessing, man, because you never know how God is just going to, make it happen for you.
Yeah, no, likewise, man. That's beautiful, man. Again, it's the stories like that people that are going through it need to hear,
Yeah,
because it's the inspiration. There's so much doubt, and to hear people just like yourself, just like us, are going through these things, and on the other side of saying being hit by those bricks, these are some of the beautiful things that can happen on the other side. So just hold on, keep fighting through it. So
yeah.
congratulations, man. That's super
I
dope.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Now in Richmond, do you do anything in the cancer community in Richmond?
Whenever
Or
I
do
get
they
the
have opportunities to support cancer survivors in Richmond?
Yeah, whenever I get the opportunity to, a lot of times people will call me, and I definitely share my testimony as much as I
Yeah,
can share my testimony. There's been a few times people will call me about cancer related events, and as long as there's nothing on my schedule, I like to just pretty much just donate my time and just do it, just because I can. So those are some of the ways that I give back. There's a lot more that I want to do, and I got a couple things in the works that
okay,
I don't really want to reveal right now, but
no worries.
and other good thing is I have a great relationship with my urologist, and he's pretty much on standby. I really want us to do a segment where we're there, and I can actually tell the whole story about everything. That he can kind of chime in and just
Yeah,
talk about other things, because the crazy part is I went to the doctor for 5 years after for the follow-ups, and everything was always good. You're good, come back in 6 months. You're good, come back in a
yeah.
year. The fifth and final one, I went there, and he was like, "Yeah, your testicular cancer stuff looks perfect, but your PSA is kind of high."
What is
So now
PSA? What's PSA? For those that
PSA is
don't know.
yeah. So PSA is how they measure your likeliness of having prostate cancer.
Oh wow.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. So if you have a high number, that's when they start wanting to do biopsies to see if there's any sign of prostate cancer. So he said that it could be two things. So best case scenario is, once again, take this medication, and if your
Right.
PSA comes down, then it was more so like I think they call it like prostatitis.
Yeah.
Um, so he gave me the medication, everything went down, and I was good. But I was already thinking to myself, wow, how crazy would it be to go through this for 5 years, and then right at the end, when he's about to give me my graduation papers, I pick up, the next thing. So I shared all that to say, it'll be great to have my urologist there to explain not only testicular cancer, but prostate cancer, because there's so many men in the community that don't know their PSA numbers. And again, just like any form of cancer, early detection is the best way to deal with it.
Actually, we'll talk, but I would love to have him on the show, man. I would love to have him on the show if he's open to it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, because on here, not only survivors, but caregivers also, and
Mhm.
doctors, and, allowing them to share the information we need to know. So how often are you supposed to, for us Black African-American men, how often are we supposed to be checking our balls, man?
Man, check them all. He's supposed to check them every day at least. My thing is, if you feel anything abnormal, definitely get it checked out.
What's abnormal? Like a lump, or is it like,
Yeah,
what is it?
it's a lump. So For a while, even before I had testicular cancer, there's this thing called it's like I had like a cyst on my epididymis. I think that's a tube that sperm travels through, and you say that that's kind of normal. Like so,
Right.
even though I felt that for a while, he was pretty much saying that was normal. What I felt when I, felt like something wasn't right was something way more than that. It almost felt like a stone. It was like stone hard almost.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah. So it definitely didn't feel right. You wouldn't confuse that with the other thing. Yeah, but I mean, between that, I mean, first and foremost, whether it's your testicles, whether it's your prostate, as men, man, we definitely need to make sure we're going to the doctor at least once a year.
Once a year.
There's so many brothers that, don't even go to the doctor unless it's, unless you're in the final stages of whatever it is, So I think it's good to know because brothers don't know about, whether or not they have high blood pressure, diabetes, all these things, So it's good to go get a, check out.
No doubt. I'm gonna switch gears real quick, man. I need to know top 5 best DJs. Your top 5. I mean, you are dope, but your top 5 of all time.
As long as I can, I don't want to have to put them in order.
Nope, you don't have to be in order. I don't want nobody to be mad, but top 5.
Yeah, top 5. If I had to say my top 5 DJs, DJ Jazzy Jeff.
He was one of your mentors, huh?
Yes, like my brother. Yeah, super, super cool brother. The crazy thing is, whenever I get around him, we talk more about life than we talk about music. You know what I'm saying? So, when I talk about him as an inspiration, it's almost more before I met him because once I met him, it's more of a brotherhood than a music.
Exactly.
So, but as far as inspiration, it's just dope DJs. DJ Jazzy Jeff. I would definitely have to say Kid Capri.
Yeah.
There's a DJ in Atlanta named DJ JC. He's probably not on the radar as much as I'd say Jazzy Jeff or Kid Capri. But when I think of just a dope, all around DJ, DJ JC, DJ B in Norfolk, and I'm trying to think of who would that last person be. Right now, you know what? I'm gonna say my daughter.
Oh, it's so funny you say that. What inspired you to get your daughter into the craft, man?
It's crazy. She used to go with me to the radio station every day.
And by the way, I heard one of her sets. She's about to be a problem.
No, it's crazy. Like I just left the house. I was talking to my wife on the way here, and she just did a transition. But it blew my mind. I'm like, yo, that was incredible. Like I would actually do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was crazy. She would go with me to the radio station and to any kid, you see a turntable spinning around, buttons, lights, who wouldn't want to play with it and mess around with it? So she used to mess around with it, but I would watch her, the way that she was able to, mess with the turntable and not hit the needle. And things like that, just small things like that. I was telling her, like, if you really wanted to learn, I could teach you. So we started messing around with it. One of the most important things about the DJing thing was the counting. And I was like, okay, well, she does cheerleading, so I'm going to approach it the same way that we approach cheerleading. And just small things like that, telling her to look at the turntable like it's a clock. Yeah. Watching her progress, and the more and more she did, I said, no, she really can do it. And funny thing is, she got good at it and quit. She told her mom that she didn't want to do it anymore, and she was scared to tell me, because she thought it would hurt my feelings.
Right.
And I was like, nah, I only want you to do it if it's what you want to do.
Yeah.
She took a break, came back, and, just.
Have you ever did a DJ battle against your daughter? Have you seen the father and daughter with the beatbox?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about just having a battle against your daughter?
I thought about, we did a mixtape called Daddy-Daughter Battle, I believe. But it was more of a play on the name, Lonnie Battle, yeah. So we did that. There's a couple things I do have in the works I want to do with her. Okay. Battle her. I don't want to battle her yet. I want to give her a little bit more time before I do that to her, man. She's but as far as creatively and keeping me up on what's right now, you know what I'm saying? She knows her music. The other thing that I want to protect for her is the fact that she's not programmed. I talked earlier about being programmed.
Yeah.
She's not programmed into thinking, I got to play this record because this is a top hit or whatever. She plays from her heart. So if it's something that's huge to everybody else or just something that she loves, that's how she plays. I want her to protect that because once you deal with the political side of things, that could get lost, you know?
That's amazing, man. I'm glad that, your daughter is following your footsteps. You know, like I said, I saw an Instagram clip and it was dope, man. It's super dope.
Thank you, brother.
So I would ask you, what would you tell your knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger self that would help him prepare for his future?
Knowing what I know now, what would I tell my younger self? Wow. I think if I could tell him anything, man, it definitely would be take care of yourself. Take care of yourself physically. You know, make sure you're eating right. Make sure you're working out more because, you may see a whole bunch of things in life, whether it's success, whether it's family, whether it's financially, but without the right health or being healthy, you won't be here to enjoy it. So, when I think about a lot of things that I've gone through, I said to myself, I never want to be in a position health-wise dealing with something that I could have avoided had I taken care of myself. So that's the one thing I would definitely tell myself, because that's the most important thing, man. Your health. As long as you got your health, man, you got an opportunity to get it right the next day.
How strong was your faith in your cancer journey, man? How strong was your faith? Did it grow?
It definitely grew. I wasn't a person that went to church a lot. My mom, didn't, have me in church a lot. I definitely prayed a lot, but to go through that situation again, to only have prayer to help you get through certain things, and then you look at how it played out, I don't believe luck will make you land on your feet that many times. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about the cancer journey, when I think about to bounce back from the cancer journey and have the son, to bounce back from the cancer journey to have the son and look at the success of the art of noise, like it's just too much going on, for it to be luck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So very, very, strong spiritually.
That's
you know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying? So, yeah, bro.
For testicular, now after the surgery, do you have to have a different type of diet? Do you have to eat differently, or you could just, once you get the surgery, good money?
Yeah, once you get the surgery, it's pretty much, good money. I think we should be eating right, anyway. But yeah, there was no real diet or food restrictions. You know what I'm saying? After that, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, we're at a space where I always ask every guest on the show, what 3, if you can, positive deposits would you give for those that are listening, those that are going through cancer, or those that have survived cancer that are pushing through? What are 3 positive deposits and words of inspiration that you would give?
3 positive things, 3 positive deposits. I guess number 1 would be to always, even when it gets hard, always think positive, because, during those times, your mind and your thoughts, are very powerful, you know what I'm saying? And it could really bring you down. And, so make sure you try to stay as positive and surround yourself by positive, people. Another thing would be very mindful of your time. Like I said earlier, your time, no matter what, is very, powerful. So be very strategic on what you spend it on.
Okay.
Don't, waste it, spending it on negative things, you know what I'm saying? And, make sure you pray. Prayer is everything. I don't think I would have made it out the way that I made it out without prayer. So I think those 3 things, could potentially put you in a seat to share your story with other people and tell them about, the dark side, some of the things that you may be going through right now.
Yeah.
That, you'll tell them that, I was in this place, but this is where I am now.
Right.
And that is how we'll keep the cycle going.
Man. Well, look, man, I really appreciate your time tonight, man. That was powerful. Just your journey is powerful. Just the dope things that God is blessing you with, man. And so if people want to find out what you're doing, where can they find you? What's your Instagram, or you got a website that some folks can, follow you?
I guess the best place right now to follow me would be on Instagram at DJ Lonnie B, DJ LONNIEB. And I'm the same thing on everything. On Facebook, or Lonnie Battle on Facebook, LonnieB.com, DJLonnieB.com, all those different places. But I'm the most active on Instagram. That's where you'll see the DJ stuff, the family stuff. It's like a mini reality TV show on my Instagram page.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. We got to show all shades of our lives. You see what I'm saying? The ones that, whatever we want to share, But no, that's awesome, man. Well, you heard it from him at DJ Lonnie B. You are now tuning into the Positive Deposit Podcast. You can hear us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. You can also go to our website, www.positivedeposits.org. Make sure you push that donate button. Everything that we do here, it matters. And so with that being said, I'm glad that we had DJ Lonnie B, and we definitely have transformed minds to change lives.